just like the general of Azol spoke, it is difficult to speak after those three gentlemen. But because of gender, I will assert my position. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is both a privilege and a profound responsibility to stand before you today in our capital city, Nairobi, at this Intergovernmental Authority on Development Regional Forum for Eminent Personalities and Leaders for Peace. I acknowledge the presence of His Excellency Dr. Wokne Kebeyeyu, the Executive Director of IGAD, Honorable Rehema Dida Jeldesa, Chairperson of the Kenya National Gender and Equality Commission, Dr. Fatuma Adan, IGAD Head of Mission to Kenya, the Principal Secretary, present representing the Minister for Diaspora Affairs. My neighbor, he knows where we are neighbors. And to say that your leadership embodies the collective wisdom this initiative seeks to harness for our region's stability. In our IGAD region, conflict has fractured families, displaced communities, and eroded hope. Yet, throughout our history, women and young people have consistently emerged as agents of preventive diplomacy, and this often through unofficial channels that we now seek to elevate into mainstream peace building. Their wisdom, born from lived experience and community rootedness, represents an untapped reservoir for regional stability. Kenya's national efforts demonstrate how gender-inclusive dialogues transform societies. Our 2019 National Policy on Gender and Development establishes firm foundations, mainstreaming equality across political, economic, and security spheres. Our Constitution enshrines the 2/3 gender principle, a mandate we are progressively embedding through ongoing legislation. We have robust laws, including the Protection Against Domestic Violence Act 2015 and the Sexual Offenses Act 2019, alongside a rigorous gender-based violence monitoring and evaluation framework that ensures accountability in our preventive diplomacy efforts. These investments yield measurable results. Women-led mediation during Kenya's 2010-2013 post-election recovery fostered reconciliation rooted in community trust and served as a textbook example of how collective wisdom prevents future conflicts. Youth initiatives supported by our parents in civil society have trained dozens of young mediators, especially women, in conflict-affected counties. These experiences prove that local actors, particularly women and youth, aren't merely conflict victims, but vital architects of preventive diplomacy whose collective wisdom strengthens regional stability. Building on this firm foundation, I stand here to congratulate IGAD Council of Eminent Personalities and advocate that as you go about your work, you champion the inclusion of youth and women in Track 2 mediation, an initiative that recognizes how equally vital is our shared cultural heritage, arts, and traditional practices have long served as bridges between communities and offer time-tested mechanism for dialogue and reconciliation. We propose a bold regional framework that harnesses our collective wisdom systematically. I invite you to envision with me a diverse regional roster of eminent persons, senior women and men, youth and elders, all working to identify, mentor, and elevate credible mediators in Track 2 efforts. Picture with me modular, gender-sensitive training in negotiation, psychosocial support, and trauma-aware facilitation delivered from capital to village. And I emphasize that. Let's move from here to the villages, creating networks of preventive diplomacy practitioners. We propose cross-border mentoring that links senior mediators with emerging women and youth practitioners across our region. This initiative will employ rigorous evaluation mechanisms aligned with Kenya's gender-based violence framework, measuring equity, inclusion, and impact in our preventive diplomacy efforts. The government of Kenya proudly backs a region-wide initiative on youth and women inclusion in Track 2 mediation, preventative diplomacy, and peace building. At our recent National Gender Sector Working Group meeting, I reaffirmed our commitment under His Excellency the President, William Samoei Ruto, 9-point agenda for women, including domestic care policies and economic empowerment strategies that strengthen the foundation for regional stability. Yet, that meeting confronted us with the harsh reality of appalling rates of femicide, with 5,578 women and girls taken from us in the year 2024, and it continues. Each number represents a life lost, a family shattered, and a community where preventive diplomacy has failed at the domestic level. This stark reminder drives our agency to harness collective wisdom before conflicts escalate. Regionally, we anticipate in IGAD's relaunched Women, Peace and Security Forum and recently hosted the Regional Dialogue on Gender, Land and Climate Resilience in Nairobi. Kenya will engage fully in upcoming high-level platforms. The IGAD Youth Forum on Peace in Entebbe, the UNAU Women's Forum in Addis Ababa, and a continent-wide youth peace conference to be convened in Nairobi later this year. Each platform amplifies our collective wisdom for regional stability. This initiative transcends symbolism and tokenism. It is strategically essential for preventive diplomacy. A peace process that excludes women and youth ignores half of our region's wisdom. Peace that silences their voices cannot endure because it lacks the collective intelligence that makes communities resilient. Yesterday we had a meeting. We had statistics that half of our population is composed of children, and therefore women are there. That is why we have to speak to this populace. I therefore invite this IGAD through this council to take decisive action. First, endorse this initiative under the Council of Eminent Personalities, anchoring it within IGAD's institutional framework as a cornerstone of our preventive diplomacy architecture. Second, commit funding and technical support, including bilateral and multilateral contributions that sustain our collective wisdom building efforts. Third, mobilize additional eminent persons from former heads of state to grassroots peace builders to campaign and support the implementation of this gender-inclusive dialogue program. The genius of this IGAD Council of Eminent Personalities is that by harnessing the essence of Track 2 cultural arts and our shared heritage, we are leveraging trust, familiarity, and rootedness, the spaces precisely where women and youth excel. Including them is therefore not about meeting quotas, it is about harnessing our region's full collective wisdom for preventive diplomacy and peace building. When we bring together our daughters and sons and our mothers and fathers, we build peace that draws from the complete spectrum of human experience and insight. On behalf of the Government of Kenya, and with gratitude to IGAD and all partners, I pledge our legal, financial, and institutional support to the work of the IGAD Council of Eminent Personalities. Together, let us harness our collective wisdom to broaden the cycle of peace and strengthen regional stability through truly inclusive preventive diplomacy. I would like to add and say, as a minister for, let me put it right, it's not women issues, it is the Minister for Gender, Culture, and Children's Services. We are trying to look at how we can balance, how we can use culture to influence the way we are looking at life now, how things used to be done before, how we used to relate with one another in the society, how we used to be, how we used to respect elders, how we respect order, how we take care of the young people, the culture that needs to be inculcated in the lives of the children from a very young, early age, teaching them to know how to live with one another, how to say thank you, how to say pole, how to say excuse me. These are some of the things that we need to go back there. So I would want to appeal to these eminent persons through the forums that you have, that can we be able to mainstream some of these things? Let us get involved. Let's go back and ask ourselves, where did we lose it? Did we become too academic, too formal, until we forgot? Women became very busy, career women. No, I'm not in any way saying that is, but we need to still be able to know that we are the nurturers, we are the people who take care of the society. Fathers also need to play their roles, need to affirm their sons and be able to tell them they matter and they are very important in the society. So some of these things are the ones that we are speaking to as a ministry, and we want to be very much be involved in the matters of IGAD so that we can be able to restore the family values as they were that time, not only here in Kenya, but regionally. So that is my only addition, and I want to thank you so much for inviting us and be able to say that His Excellency the Deputy President was supposed to be here, but because of work, I am here. This is the government. So it is fully represented. Thank you very much and have good deliberations.
Thank you very much, Waziri. A round of applause for all the leaders who have spoken. Waziri, thank you very much. And one area that you mentioned about IGAD being active in the grassroots, in the villages, and as PS also mentioned about us being active in the grassroots, I want to affirm you that the vision of His Excellency, the Executive Secretary, is that he wants to take IGAD to the people. The people are not in the urban centers. The people are there in the villages, and we want to be very active there. So this one I want to confirm to you that it is an ongoing process, and we are going to be active in the village and indeed in the grassroots. We are through with the first session of this meeting, and now we are going to have a health break, but before that we'll have a group photo where the high table and the eminent person will take a group photo, and we are going to be led by the communication team. It's going to be out there. So Excellencies, I request that we go for the group photo, and then we can come for the next session. So, and all of us, we can also join at the group photo. After the eminent person have taken a photo with the Excellencies, then we can also join in. Thank you very much.